All right, a minute of mindfulness. Concentrate nothing but focus on your breathing and the time that we have together, okay? Thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that minute of mindfulness.
Thank you, Jimmy. So now let's warm up our session today. To this lesson, we will go up by exercise push-up. Yeah.
So,
Now, let's prepare for our push-up this morning.
all right, everybody, go ahead and get ready to do push-up.
Sorry, Tay, just a heads up. I'm like on my way out to the commute right now, so I'll probably not be able to do like push-ups.
Okay, then you can do your exercise with the REIOUs. Okay, do that for a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the timer ready. Are you ready? So 1 minute for push-up. Ready? Tức là ôm mi thú ạ. Tức là nó tít ở trên trong đầu tàu ấy ạ. Xong các anh đánh trúng thôi. À. Hands up.
Let's get the quick count. How many from Ben?
58.
58. Okay, Sunny didn't have a chance to do it, so we make next time, Ben, you see Sunny, make him do for a minute and record it, okay? How about Lương now? How many you can do in a minute now, Lương?
30.
30.
Yeah.
Not bad. Okay, I think thầy in between. Take care wasabi A now, but thầy still can get in 63. So I need to practice harder. Ben is catching up to me. So all right, that's good. The push-up exercise. Thank you, Lung. Thank you, Gong. The push-up exercise. I don't know if they noticed it, but we started 6 weeks ago. So I hope that you've been practicing your push-up because that's a very good to exercise your lungs capacity. And if you've been doing it every day or at least 3 times a week, your number should be double in 6 weeks. I don't know if you notice that. Thầy can go back to, after we're done with this, Thầy and Lương probably will look at a lot of videos that we recorded some section ones, and we will analyze a lot of things before we give you our feedback and things like that. There's a lot of work going to that part. Okay, so that's why when Thầy let Lương run the meeting today and she decided to do the push-up at the first warm-up exercise, that proved that after 4 years of follow Thầy, she really understands the structure and the process in my head. All right, Lương, get on with the next agenda on the item.
Yeah. So today is session 6, the last session in our pro speaker class. So what techniques we will learn from Mr. Jimmy Thai? I don't want to say and talk so much because I want to listen everything from you, Mr. Jimmy Thai.
Thank you, Gong. All right. For today, the lesson, oh, I see Sunny is in the car. So hopefully somebody driving you and you pay attention to the road, right, Gong? Okay. If Jimmy is the one driving you, say hi to Jimmy, okay? That's okay. Pay attention to driving, Gong. You don't have to say hi to Thầy. All right, the last session here, session 6. Today we learned a lot about the skill that's extremely important to our speakers, especially when you're a presenter. How do you handle Q&A, right? The question and answers. The question and answer is the part that's the opportunity for you to shine, not just your main speech. The Q&A is the part to see you really have knowledge, because the presentation, the speech, that's something you can train, you can practice, but Q&A, you have no idea what people are asking you. That's why Q&A is extremely hard. And sometimes people want to challenge you, so the Q&A, the technique to handle the Q&A is very, very important. And you want to make sure you answer the question within about a minute or so. You don't want, or 2 minutes max. You don't want to be rambling on so on, because you do want to have other people opportunity to answer the questions or ask your questions so you can help and answer more. Like you host a EB5 or you host a charity event, there's 40, 50, 100 people in the room. You cannot spend more than 1 or 2 minutes per questions. And they will show you the technique, how you can make sure that you get the information, or you can follow up with them without stop the whole room, right? That's a really, really skillful technique. So there's a 4 major techniques that you need to know how to handle the Q&A session as a professional speaker, or as the speaker in this case. First of all, you have somebody in the audience already distracting. Let's say you're teaching the class, or you lecturing, or you talking this, and there's 2, 3 people keep talking to each other, or they keep, sometimes they do it on purpose, sometimes they just have a discussion. But the way that they approach to handle this situation is usually, if I can, right? Sometimes if they wire and they want me to stay on the stage, then it's hard for me to get down to the audience size. But usually, if I can have, that's why when I speak, I request a hand-free phone, so I don't get tied up, because the free phone, the free microwave allow me to move around the entire room if I need to, or if I want to do push-up, I can do it. But sometimes, because like last conference in Vietnam, the range of their mic is very, very short. The minute they step too far, like 10 feet away, they cannot pick up the signal, and there's a lot of interference and whatnot. So that's why you have to be careful. You show up, you test your equipments. These are in the last session, when lesson number 8 that they didn't have a chance to teach you all now, because that's when you go pro. You have to worry about show up and test the equipment and all that stuff. But if they get close to that people that distracting, and just my presence to be next to them already get their attention, that they now have to pay attention to me instead of talking to each other. So those are the first thing. When you have audience that are too distracting, try to show up next to them and keep talking, keep doing what you're doing, but just because they see you getting close to them, they pay attention to you, and that will avoid, you know, whatever they talking. Or if they say something really engaging and you're doing that and they still not stop, and they can just look at them and say, oh, look like you have something to share with the rest of the group, or seem like you engage in such a powerful debate. Is there something you can share, or something that, you know, we can help you answer with? So that's the technique that we handle the distracted audience, that make it really harder for the rest of them to concentrate in what you are talking or what you are teaching. The number 2 audience that you need to handle is they ask your question, but they keep rambling on. Meaning you're not sure what the question, right? They keep talking, oh, this is the EB5, so what exactly, how much it costs, and then if I give you the money, and then the money, you take it, but then you go get things going with the lawyer, but what if the lawyer think that we're not qualified, and in case we're not qualified, do we get the money back, and the money back, but how do we get the money, and what exactly the project? So they keep rambling on, but they not really ask the question. And then sometimes you can just signal them and then say, is there a question that I can answer? Right? So instead of let them rambling or vent or frustrated with something, they're talking forever, you can say, okay, it seems like you have a lot of things in your mind, but let's focus, is that the question that I can answer? Right? So if they keep rambling and talking and distracting the rest of the group, and if they go for more than a minute, hey, we have to fight to cut it. And my normal technique is that if there's a question here, Mr., if there's a question here, Miss, and then we focus them. And then force them to ask the question. If not ask the question, say, hey, seems like you don't really have a question yet. Let me move on to the next person so we don't waste time, and then we'll come back to you, right? So that's the technique that you can handle somebody that keep rambling on. Number 3, this is really, really important when you go into talk and very hostile environment. Sometimes your opponent or your competitor or your enemy might send somebody go into your public event, and they really want to just annoy and make a lot of, you know, sound noise, and they really want to distract you and distract the rest of the room, right? And sometimes when you walking in, they may whistle and they may very distracting, because we call them heckler, right? So the heckler, they really there just try to mess up your meeting, your Q&A or whatever. Then you don't really confront and say, hey, I think you belong to that company XYZ and you here because you want to mess up me or mess up our company. That's not very professional way to handle it. What you do is that you want to turn the audience against this person, right? So you want to make sure that, oh, welcome for your presence here. It seems like you're not ready to settle down. Is there anything that, you know, we can help you with? And let all the neighbors, all the, you know, member right next to you have a quiet time so they can listen to the meeting. Or if you want to, would you like to switch seat with somebody so you can be more, you know, calm? And so you have the way to get the audience involved and let the audience know that, hey, I've noticed these people here may not be on the same purpose as you, but I just want you to work with us here and pay attention to these people. And sometimes if people, you know, keep making all these things, they can say that, I think you're at the wrong conference. The meeting that you really want to go to is next door, or the meeting you really want to go to is on the 2nd floor, right? So they find a way to send the signal that, hey, you don't belong here, Mr. or Mrs. You need to leave my room. And when you do that, a lot of audience will say, oh yeah, I'm here to listen to, you know, Mr. Jimmy Tai. I'm not here to listen to you. So if you're not interested, why don't you leave? So the audience will help you do that. But when people are annoying you, the number 3 is extremely important, because a lot of times you will have somebody from your competitor coming in and try to mess you up. So you have to learn how to get the audience on your side and work with you. Number 4 is the really reality. None of us know have all the knowledge in the world. So sometimes when people ask you a question that you don't have the answer, you have to be honest and say, that's a very interesting question. Definitely something that I don't have the answer for you right now. Audience, if there's anybody in the audience that can help us with this, or do you have any idea, or do you have any recommendation or suggestions, so you can always turn to the audience and say, is there anybody that's a subject matter expert in this, right? Let's say if you talk about the EB5 conference and somebody say, oh, I heard that Trump just have the new rule about the golden ticket or the golden card instead of green card. You have a golden card and now you need to have $5 million or above before you qualify for this golden card. Is that true? And let's say if you're not familiar with this topic or you don't have all this information, so instead of saying, I never heard of that, or I don't really know anything about that, that's not good, because you're supposed to know this thing, right? So the one you say, hey, I believe you are right. This is very new, this is very fresh, and we don't have all the detail because I believe the White House is not having all the detail yet. Is there anybody in this room have any information about this topic that you'd like to share? So that's the first thing. You can ask the audience and see anybody is the experts, because sometimes there's an expert in the room, they know about this stuff. The second way to handle the number 4 scenario, you say, can I take your name and your contact and give me 1 day to research, and I will make sure I answer the question for you in form of a phone call or email or something like that. So we say, I don't have the answer, I will go home research it, and I will get back to you. Or they do a lot of team meditation with Leung, with Hiền, and with all of my CEO. And sometimes when we have too many questions that they don't have time to answer, or something that I don't have the answer, I would say, maybe next week we will do a follow-on live stream and we will answer all of these questions that we haven't gotten a chance to answer today. Or say, your question today, we cannot get the answer for you, but in the next live stream or the next meeting or the next session, whatever that give them a specific next day, next hour, or give me, see me after this, and then we can talk offline and whatnot. Okay? Send the message to the audience that you are committed to provide the answer to this person, instead of saying, hey, I don't know, and then I don't want to talk to you. Okay, so those are the 4 basic techniques that we learn how to handle the Q&A. So today, during the practice, after each of you deliver your speech, they will have the chance to practice with you, meaning they will ask the question based on the topic that you talked about, right? So that's why today, Leung will help they run the meeting, even help they run the feedback from each of you, the feedback the student. They will pay a lot more attention to learn, because besides Sunday, nobody sent in the speech, so they have no idea what are you talking about. Everybody felt from that point, except for Sunday. The Sunday is the only one that they listen to this speech about 20 times now. So with that, those are the 4 key techniques that I share with you today to handle the Q&A. And at this point, I will turn over the control to Leung, so we can go into our practice. I believe that's the next part. Let me see. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, so here's for the practice, you're supposed to have the new 3 to 5 minute speech now, either related to your work or a charity or the cause that you really care about, right? So I already mentioned that when we end up our session number 4. Because last week we didn't have a class, but last week you self-study in body language. So make sure that this is a new speech. It have to be work related, or it have to be something that if he send you here and learn with him. You will have the peer evaluation that Leung will assign who evaluate whom for each of that, and make sure you use the sandwich technique. Remember, you have to send something good, something that can improve, and something is very, very memorable, something that you really love about their speech. Then, after that quick 1 minute evaluation from your peer, they will practice Q&A with you by asking you questions, and they will play all of those 4 scenarios, and they want to see how you handle the Q&A. Okay, so everybody clear? Any question before we start?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Tejimi, so much. I'm an MC, so I can understand everything you say, because in a event, we can have so many things can happen. So really, this tips really good for us to resolve everything. Yeah. So before our speak today, I want to make sure about the first is your name speech. Name of the speech. do you have anything change or
Yes. My speech changed to the power of fears. The
the
power of
power of fear? Okay.
also just one thing. Is the background noise for me distracting? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, it's perfect.
All right, thank you. Because I just reached my new location, so I just want to make sure.
I appreciate you. I know this is a lot of things for you, but you committed. That's the thing that is very, very important to take. Good. Okay, that's the power of fear. How about Ben? What's the title of your speech?
My title of the speech is Building More Than Buildings.
Building more than building.
Building more than building.
I like that. Ah. And Pei, can you introduce you, Lynn? What's the title of your speech, Lynn?
My title, $1, one passion.
As you can see, Lynn picked her speeches on the charity already. That's why she does not really have to come up with the work related. This is the charity that she embrace and support. All right. You can pick
Okay, so
whoever go first and make sure you assign the evaluator so somebody can listen and evaluate. Okay, Kang?
okay, so about the time for our speech is from 3 to 5 minutes. So we will have 3 minutes. I have to put up my okay, so 1 minute we have green. 3 minutes we have green. Okay. 4 minutes we have yellow. And 5 minutes red.
The color is not really good, Kang.
Really?
You have pen, or you have something, the color be more better. The color could come on clear.
Okay. Okay, so I will use
Okay, that's better.
yeah.
Keep that close to the camera, that would be better.
Who first? Mr. Ben or Santa? Who first? The president just speak
I
today.
can go first.
Okay. So, Mr. Ben Nguyen, building more than buildings. Building more than building. Mr. Ben Nguyen.
What if I were to told you that my biggest dream isn't to build a skyscraper or to own a luxury home, but it's to build something more valuable, something that you cannot see in a blueprint, a legacy. We live in a world that moves really fast, where new condos, new technologies, new infrastructure, new money, and everything is just rushed to build fast. We often tend to leave people behind, especially the one that we cared for. In Vietnam and both here in America, I've seen something that breaks my heart. My grandparents growing old in silence. No one listens to them, no one cares about them, or no one even visits them. Just waiting for someone to care, waiting for someone to remember that they existed. When I was younger, I always dream of going into real estate. And to be honest, I thought that was it. And it was all about numbers, deals, and profit. But then I noticed something. I have a realization, a vision. What if real estate wasn't just about ROI? What if we can build something more valuable? We can build space that gives people a sense of home, belonging, and feeling love, a purpose. And it all started when I started one of my business in Vietnam and trying to create more than just a space to sleep there. Then it grew in my career grew into something bigger. It went to researching senior housing and building spiritual space with my mentors. It is not just real estate. It is to build a legacy. A few days ago, I went to a funeral, and it was actually my grandma's funeral. My grandma had passed away a few weeks ago, and I stood there and I thought, watching her life fading away. I just stood there and I just have this thought, how many baths, how many homes are still out there, slowly fading away, unseen or unheard of. That moment, something lit inside of me. I didn't just want to build, I didn't just want to make money. I want to build something that would make my grandparents proud of, something that would last forever, a legacy. Now, I'm part of a project working on building more than just house, building senior livings, building memory cares, and building spiritual communities. Place where people can belong, can be loved, and can be remembered. It's it's not easy to build those, but if you can imagine, if your grandma and my grandma in a new safe environment, smiling in a cared love home, surrounded by people who actually cared, that is what it's all about. If that is what it is, and that is where I'm at, then I know that I'm in the right place. So why am why am I telling you all of this? Because I believe that in our heart, we are all builders. Some build with bricks, but I believe that most people have the ability to build with their time, the love, and the vision. And in the end, people don't remember how tall your building is, but how many how much value you create for them, how many you people you support. Um, People remember who you stood up for. And I'm not here to just build buildings. I'm here to build a legacy for my grandma, for your grandma, and for all the people's who grandparents who raised us and were not creating some buildings, were creating the future. That's it. Thank you.
Congratulations. Yay. Yeah. Uh, I love this speech. Okay, so now we will have 1 minute for 1 minute before we start evaluate this speech?
Hey Jimmy, your mic is off.
While we have the minute of silence, so we can repair to give feedback, and learn the you assign somebody to give feedback to Ben's speech.
Yeah. Mr. Sơn Ta, you will evaluate for Mr. Bình Nguyễn. It's okay? Yeah.
So while we're waiting for Santa to be ready to evaluate, thầy will help you practice Q&A. Mr. Ben, that was a powerful presentation. I love about building. Now, do you think that there's so many religious denominations? We have Buddhists, we have Catholic, we have Hindu, we have Islam. How do you think that you can have one spiritual place that you build for senior people, but I'm still not quite, you can handle different religious denominations, like I mentioned, Buddha, I'm Buddhist, so I think Buddhist people want different thing, and I work with Catholic priests. The Catholic priests will have a different thing, and then also have friends is a Muslim, so the Muslim people want the different thing, and I'm support people in India, so a lot of Hindu people will have the different thing. They want to eat the different food, and they want to pray different hours, and they want to, all of these so distracting and confusing, and so many options and so many variables. And do you really think that the idea of these things is something is really doable, or this is something is so hard and so confusing that we're not quite sure how we handle all of this? And I'm still waiting for you to interrupt me here.
Okay, thank you, thầy Jimmy, so much for asking this incredible question. And my honest answer to you is that I personally feel that yes, absolutely yes, you can build one community that includes everyone. And myself, as a Buddhist, I believe that as long as you have one thing and one thing only, as long as you have faith, you are always welcome in any community. Hindu, Buddhist, Christianity. I believe that as long as you have that one crucial thing, you are welcome anywhere, because I believe that every religion, there is a pattern to it. And once you understand the pattern, the faith behind those religion, I believe that nothing is impossible. And I believe building a spiritual community is as easy as building a school. It's the basic concept. And that is my honest answer to you, Tajemi. Do you have any other questions?
I have a question. Yes, I think the real estate market will have a 20% correction within a year, because with all the thing going on with tariff, with high interest rate and everything, the real estate market might believe a lot of forecasts will be correct by 20%. Why should I invest in something in a year I might lose 20%?
That is actually a great question. And I would want to, I believe that that is a crucial question, and I believe that is the most up-to-date question. And I believe someone in the room might have a better insight of this question than I do. So, if I may ask, is anyone in the room not aware of this data or this information and would like to speak up? and answer Thầy Jimmy's question.
Good job. Very good. All right. One thing Thầy want to stop the whole class right now because one thing Thầy did not share with all of you, and that's good. Ben, you answered very, very good. The second question here. Be a little bit more forceful, but that will come with time. More practice, it will give you all of this. One thing Thầy forgot to share when Thầy show you about these 4 rambling, but Thầy did not show you the technique. The technique to answer the question within a minute, the technique that we call the prep technique, okay? That's the word prep, P-R-E-P. So when we answer the question, we follow the prep technique or the prep framework, meaning the point or your answer. What is the point or what is the key answer of yours? Let's say, hey, I don't know. And the reason I know because this thing is new. So for example, we talk about market go up and down all the time, but is there anybody in this room might have more information for me? Because one, I have the information, and then if you give me 24 hours or give me your email or your phone number, I will get back to you. So that's what we call the prep technique. So make sure we state your position, you give them the reason why, and then you give them an example, and then you give them a point to wrap up. So remind people, hey, here is my position. For instance, if they say, hey, do you like phở? Or do you like cơm tấm? Right? So you would say, oh, I like phở because every time I eat phở, it reminds me about my mom because my mom makes the best phở in the world. For example, when my mom make phở, all my friends came over and one of my friends say, Mrs. Thai, it's such an honor to have the opportunity to try your phở because your phở is best phở in the world. It's better than phở, delicious in Santa Ana. So therefore, I love phở because every time I eat phở, I remember about my mom. So that is the framework, that is the technique that Thầy forgot to mention because They're so excited to listen to your speech. So remember that, okay? The prep technique. What is your point? What is your key position here? The reason why, give us a quick example and then wrap it up with your point. All right, with that, Thầy would like to return the control to Learn to ask Santa to do the evaluation and then we can listen to the next speaker.
Thank you, Thầy Jimmy. So, Santa, can you evaluate for the penguin speech?
Absolutely. But first, I just want to clarify again, like, can you guys hear me well? Because I know like traffic's getting heavier now. So good? Is it good? Okay. So first off, I just want to say I love your speech. First off, I love how you incorporate your like anecdote into your into your mission statement. That way, it's very like it feels very personal and helps build your credibility. One thing though, I think you could work on a little bit is that sometimes it still feels like you're reading off of a script, right? Because I think it's the way you stutter through certain sentences and how like your eyes sort of like darted back and forth. It make it like looks like like you're reading off of something rather than just talking. But I think a lot of that also has to do with the fact that like the camera is only pointed to your head, so you only have like so much room. But overall, one of the most memorable thing about that speech is I would say just the way like you use your perspective. I feel like you have a very unique perspective. That's
Okay, thank you. So, Santa against, are you ready for your speech today?
absolutely.
Okay. So, Santa, the power of fear. The power of fear. Santa, for you.
So, tell me a little bit about yourself. My heart rate shot up. Those 8 words still haunt me in my worst nightmares. So there I was, kid fresh out of high school. And somehow I found myself in this middle of this investor conference in Newport Beach. In front of me is this 6'2" man, suit and ties and everything. He was smiling, all bubbly and shaking my hand like we were just old buddies. Nice guy, right? I mean, I thought so. But as he spoke, I could hear the smugness seeping out of his voice when he started gloating about his schooling, his 10 different companies, real estate assets, and whatnot. And honestly, I was a little intimidated. I already know I didn't belong there. My head raced with talking everything I'd practiced weeks leading up to this point. My introductions, the stats, nothing. I couldn't remember a thing. I even stuttered over my own name. And before I could even finish my pitch, he cut me off. All right, that's enough. He said he had to take a phone call. I mean, sure. And I stood dumbfounded. I felt sick. Then, as he was turning away to leave, I saw it briefly. That little smirk at the corner of his mouth. That night, I lay in bed humiliated. Sonny, you're pathetic. You can't even hold proper conversation. My goal at that event was simple. Get a lead. Or at least a business card, something. I'd even failed that too. And I felt miserable. I felt like everything I'd learned up to that point was meaningless. And I was convinced I'll forever be pathetic. When I first came down here to Orange County, it was the first time I discovered independence. And I sat down and I meditated. Back home in Fresno, things were predictable. I know every day when I get home, I always find food laying on the table. I would always have endless hours of entertainment on the internet, friends to banter with. Life was cozy and sheltered. But something felt incredibly empty. Then one day, all of a sudden, I'm hundreds of miles away from home, living in a rental, cooking my own food, applying for jobs and colleges on my own. It would have sounded torturous to me just 6 months ago to spend 24/7 worrying about work and life balance. But I realized something. Why am I so much happier now? And I began asking myself, what was I doing with my life? That's when everything became clear. I finally had a purpose. See, before, I was always doing what other people tell me was right, was good. I would look at the benchmark set for me and compare myself to measure my worth. But I realized a lack of purpose, underlining a habit of fear. That was my critical error. Because when there's no passion, fear becomes your motivator. So that day I made a decision. I told myself, no, you're not worth it, Sonny. You can change. You will change. Fast forward 2 months. I was at another conference, this time at UC Irvine. It was the same setup, suits, ties, presentation, keynotes, and finally, the networking lunch. I looked around. Again, it was a room full of sharks. And as I was coming back from the lunch line, one shark came up and sat at our table. He introduced himself and gestured to me to sit. And then comes those dreaded words. So, tell me a little bit about yourself. My heart leapt. But this time, I stood my ground. Hi, I'm Sonny. I work for a financial consulting firm. I do media and marketing. Simple, confident. The day at Newport Beach taught me something I'll never forget. At the end of the day, fear and failure are just bad habits. Oftentimes, we internalize fear and failures as facts within ourselves and allow it to drive our decision making. But just as you can build healthy habits, you can also break bad ones. It takes time, discipline. But most importantly, it starts with you. So what is your purpose? Thank you.
Congratulations for your speech. Yeah. So, 1 minute of silence.
Okay, when everybody have a minute of silence to think about feedback for Sunny, Thầy will practice Q&A with you, okay? So, Mr. Sunny, from what I know, you're only 18. How do you know what is your purpose when you're 18? Because I'm somebody in the 61 years old, I still have no idea what my purpose. So how do you know what you want to do is really your purpose?
That's a great question, Mr. Jim. And I want to clarify a little bit. Maybe it didn't come up like it didn't came out right. I was saying that yes, I didn't have a purpose before, but the point was that it's the journey that really matter. How you find your purpose, how you find that path, and obviously, nobody can. No, I would say I have not defined completely what that purpose is, but at least now I have a direction to where I'm going. Thank you.
Okay. Question. It's very interesting. You talk about all these shark and you go to the conference and all of these things and people scare you and then you go home and you feel like, hey, I'm so pathetic. And then you think about, hey, my purpose and I'm going to practice and I'm going to stand my grounds and all that stuff. And how do you really know that what really work or really in reality, just you're not really prepared? Because if somebody sends you to a networking event like this, your boss should have tell you, hey, here is the situation, here is the questions, and here is how you answer it. And if your boss did that part and you did not learn all of these things from your boss, that would be on you. But if your boss did not prepare you,
I'm so sorry,
and that's on her.
Can I clarify what you're asking? Is that how does my boss should I learn all of this from my boss before? And is that what you're asking?
I'm sorry, you kind of rude because I was talking and you interrupted me, and that's very rude of you. So you don't think that I deserve the time to ask the question?
I'm sorry, I just didn't quite understand. It's on me. I didn't really quite understand what you're asking, so I was trying to clarify. I'm sorry if that.
Okay. Yeah, my question is, okay, that's good. All right, so that's a good practice, right? Thầy rambling on, and you learn how to cut it off in a very polite way. And you did answer the harder question at first when I say, hey, how do you know your purpose when you're 18? Vì cái cô nhỏ lùn nó ăn rồi là nó hỏi thầy cái câu đó hoài. Right? Thầy, con không có biết, con còn trẻ, con có 17, 18, 19 or whatever. I've been asked like a question like 4 years in a row now. How do I know what's my purpose? Thầy say, đi ra cứ đi cuốc đất, cứ đi trồng khoai, cứ đi trồng lúa đi rồi con sẽ biết cái purpose của con. Good, very good way to handle the question. The second way, when you cut, you can say like something like this. There's a room full of people. There's a lot of people definitely want to talk to us. So if you don't mind, can you just ask the question and then we can move on to a different person out of respect of your time and everybody else's time. So we can cut them with a little bit nicer way than to say, I'm sorry, do you have a question for me, right? They can feel more offended and they can be more confrontational. Okay, good job. Who's going to evaluate Santa's speech at your learn?
Me.
Okay, yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think that when you watch your video again from the lesson 1 to this lesson, you can see a lot of improve from it's so great. Your energy in your speak is so good. So the first is the wow opening. You know, I have some busy with my timer roll. So, but when you start your speech by one mm, power question, you make me. I have to focus on your speech. Yeah, it's so good. And the second, I think I talk about your eyes contact. It's really good. And you truly follow your heroine. And I can feeling the power of this speech. Um, you have a topic that everyone want to know the answer, and me, me too. So, what is my purpose? So, and you give it to me, your journey to know your purpose in your life. And it's touched my heart from that. No, I think this is a successful speech. Congratulations.
Good job.
Thank you.
All right, we have one more victim, and that will be Miss Lương Lê. And with Miss Lương Lê, Ben will be your evaluator. Okay? Practice. Are you ready, Con? Miss Lương Lê, turn on your microphone.
Yeah.
$1, one passion. Miss Lương Lê, $1, one passion.
With $1, what can we do? Is there a cup of coffee? Or drink a glass of lemon tea? Or build a school? What? Build a school with $1? Oh my god, unbelievable. Do you think so? Right, me too. But now I believe it because I did it. Not one, not two, but 3 times. And it became my passion of my life. How to build a school with $1? And how can we find our own passion in our life? Yeah, I was just an 11th grader, stuck between 4 worlds with just a computer screen during the COVID-19. With an outgoing person like me. It's so terrible. My eyes are always black pumps staying up late. Not because of studying, but because of the romantic comics. My grades falling down so fast from the top of the class. It's still at the top, but from the bottom, look it up. The thing I care most about: go to school, eat, and wonder what would happen next in the stories I read. Yeah, my life is so mediocre with no passion. But everything began to change when I met my teacher, Jimmy. I heard his story about building the school with just $1. That moment changed my life forever. I see a path of light for underprivileged students, and I realized how someone as small as I am can still make a difference in their lives. I wish that one day I could also build a school. How? Using my speaking skill, I delivered a speech in front of almost 1,000 of people in my high school. From each student, I asked for $1 to have BuildASchool. And in the evening, my phone ting ting, and I received 200,000 Vietnam dong. Is equal to 40 breakfasts for one student. It's really high for a student. And I mentioned that I truly admire you. Your speech touched my heart. I believe in you. You can do it. It was a moment of happiness I could never forget. The first time I felt a successful speech and realized the passion of my life. Finally, I raised a total of about 1,300 USD in the first project and $5,000 in project 2 and 3. And now I continue working on project 4 with $5,000 goal. I'm living in my passion. So how do you find your passion? My answer is just do it. Go out and experience. Only when we do, we understand and know if we fit it or not, love it or not. Like hiking, we often see images of someone standing on the top of the mountain, taking selfies and wish. But we don't see how hard your journey to climb is. You can see the first time you listen about $1 to build a school. You don't believe in it. Me too. But thanks to the power of doing, I did it. And I also believe that you do it. You can do it. Just need to do it. Thank you.
All right, we have a minute of silence so we can write comment and help evaluate. And Ben, thầy will ask you to evaluate Lương speech, okay? While you thinking about that, thầy will give her some Q&A practice. So Miss Lee, I'm so impressed with your project 1 for 1,300 and project 2 for 5,000, project 3 5,000. Now you try to raise another 5,000. How come? Should you be at least raising 10 or 20,000 by now?
Thank you for the question. So I'm a student. So beside create the project to fundraising, I also have to studying and the time for work and my family. So I have to balance all of this. Yeah. So not because not just me. I have a team. I have one team to doing with me, and I think that's important that my team and I can follow the passion that is 1 year. I can build a school for the children, not just now, but every year. Yeah. So now and in the future when I grow up and my ability is bigger, I think that I really want to build many schools more. Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right, that's good. That's just a little bit good practice. So the way you should have answered that and try to apply the prep technique, right? The point here is I'm still college student. And the reason is I'm still only 19. I have second year school. I have obligation with my parents that I need to support. I self-support myself, so I still have to go get a job, a part-time job or whatnot. And think about when people in my country right now, even you graduate from college, you earn about $400 to $500 a month. And $5,000 still a big goal for college student like us. Therefore, raising 5,000 is all I can handle right now, and I cannot commit to raising something like 10, 20,000. I have that expectation, I have that vision when I'm go to work and I be graduate and working for 5 years. But right now, as a college student with all the obligation with my family, $5,000 is all I can handle, right? So that's why con có thể dùng cái prep technique and you wrap your answer in that way. Okay, good job. But Ben, are you ready to evaluate Lương con?
I'm ready.
Okay, anytime.
Okay. Miss Lương Lê, now I'll evaluate you. So I feel that the one thing that stood out to me the most is you have such a great body language. You use such a great visual by showing, for example, showing the BuildASchool or showing the $1 to build a school. It's so memorable. And even though your English isn't that great, you tend to emphasize on $1 build a school. You repeat that a lot, and it might be redundant, but at the same time, it's very memorable and it's easy to understand. And I do notice that your eye movement is looking down a lot, so just want to give you that. And I saw great improvement in your English, and I do feel the improvement from the previous speech compared to this one. And great job.
Thank you.
Cool. That is a wrap for our evaluation and practice today. Pretty good. There's a couple of things that I really want to use the last 5 minutes or so. I know that we run a little bit late and Santa is ready to go to work. So I just want to wrap up a couple of things. Originally, I planned to have an 8-week session, but just because based on your progress and based on your need and demand, I did not feel like you really need the other 2 courses. Because first of all, certificate, that's something that I will have an opportunity to sit down and review all the progress from you all before I decided if you have met all the requirements to get a certificate. Anyway, Lương, I just realized that I trained you since 2021, in October 2021. Now we're getting very close to October now, so it's almost 4 years now from the first time that you learned with I. There's a couple of things that I really want to parse you all with. This interview that they have in National Geographic when they interviewed Thầy and they published the book 100 Things to Know Before You Grow Up. This is a book that you Google, you probably can buy it. It's not a book about Thầy, it's a book about 100 things. It's really good for kids and if you have teenager. But in here, when they talk about public speaking, one of the 100 skills, they interview Thầy and they have the excerpt from Thầy here. And there are really some 4P formula that they use a lot. They teach people, make sure you have a passion or purpose, right? The passion, purpose, you should know Thầy by now. Passion and purpose to Thầy is very important. Number 2, you have to be prepared. You have to be really prepared. And you can see the speech that somebody prepared or not by just listening to the 3 speakers today. I can tell, you can tell who prepared a lot and who really not work that detail or that hard, whatever the reason, it doesn't really matter. Number 3, be yourself. You have to be yourself. Each of you bring a different skill set to the table. Like Sunny, your writing is really good. So that's your strength. Work on that. She have a very natural body language. She have a really likable, presentation and posture, and she used that to capitalize when she go out there and talking to people and when MC, right? And then you have a very deep thought process of how you can spin something about, oh, I work at EB5 building, but how do I relate it to building more than just building for senior people, for elder people? We all have grandpa, grandma. So that is your strength. You know how to make that emotional connection. You seem to have very high score on emotional intelligence. So work that, because being a speaker, you have to figure out where is your niche and how can you develop that. And as a coach, that's why when people work with her every week and every month, or when they prepare for a major speech, they have to work with her every day. And we explore a lot of these things that I cannot just, in an hour throw everything with you. And number 4 is something you cannot be good speaker if you don't commit to practice, practice, and practice. There's no other way. It doesn't matter how wonderful they teach you. You don't commit and you don't practice at least an hours every day. If this to become a professional speaker is something you really want to, you will not get there. I can guarantee you that. You can read, you can watch, you can do everything. Session number 7, this is something that just say it, just in case in the future you guys want to come back and learn to become a really advanced professional speaker. You learn how to use your face as the emotional expression. When they share about the speech that my brother gets shot and killed, they still have all of that expression of anguish, of angry, of sadness in my face, because you have to learn how to express beyond the body language that we were talking about by just waving your hand or do all of those are the basic. The advanced thing is you use your face in the day of using Zoom, that even more important to express your feeling. And this is, you have to practice a lot to get to that level. And number 8 is how they prepare you as a professional speaker. What do you need to have all of these portfolio? How do you develop a keynote? How do you a demo video? How you have a one-page bio? And how do you sign speaker contract? Because when you go speak to people, you need to have contract. That's the thing they need to do, the thing you need to do. This is way in advance that, unless you seriously go into this and want to become a 5 to 10,000 per speech, it's not the purpose of this class for this moment right now. Okay, so those are the few things. One thing about the certificate, they will send you a link that you can help they evaluate what we learned really quickly. You can spend just a couple of minutes. And in that, I really need to know your name, your full name, because if they decided you pass at least the basic level of professional speaking, then, that's kind of strange to say basic professional, maybe we say basic public speakers, then you can earn the certificate, but they will make sure what is the exactly right name to put on that certificate for you. And those are something they need to have the discussion with the CB before I decide that step. And also I need to watch again a lot of video from you would learn to see if this person, how this person really improve. And again, the 10 criteria, have them get to that level yet. Okay, so those are remain to be seen. That's a lot of work that you have to do before we can get there. Okay, really quickly, everybody, I just want to take a minute for each of you to give the feedback of how do you feel, what do you see from this class, and also from 6 weeks overall. You will have the chance to do this in the feedback form, but they want to give you an opportunity or any question to answer for you right now. Okay, and let's start with Sunny, because I know that you probably need to ready to go into your work office right now.
Yes, thank you, Tay. So I just want to have one quick question. Earlier, when you were giving the lesson about like the heckler, how to deal with hecklers, how do you do that in a way where you don't make your audience uncomfortable too, because you're too aggressive?
Great question. Always approach very likable. That's why Thầy, don't just cut them up. Send them the signal. Give them something that they know, okay, I'm coming to you and I'm going to stop you, right? And the good thing is we always have a timeout, right? Because this is a symbol that we use in this country. In different countries may have a different symbol. So when they go speak in Europe or say to Vietnam, they have to learn what is the timeout question in that country. We approach them, we let them know, I'm going to give you the timeout here. And then we say, timeout, timeout. Do you have a question that we can answer, because there's a room full of people. We don't want to We need to respect everybody's time. When you approach that from the audience point of view, or the audience will be with you. But if you get into confrontational, try to argue with that person back and forth, then the audience will say, oh my God, they just turned it into a battle between them two. So make sure you send the signal, I'm going to cut you off, and then say, hey, out of respect for audience, do you have a question that I can answer for you right now, or we need to move on?
Thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Sunny?
I just want to say that thank you, Tay. One of the biggest thing I learned from this course is how to be more disciplined in training, how to speak, right? Because every time now, what I do is I sit in front of the mirror, or I actually record myself when I'm practicing the speech, and that has helped me a lot with like a lot of the body language, noticing like sometimes like my voice, the intonation sounds kind of weird, and like a lot of that. So thank you.
When you have the discipline to record yourself and watch and learn, you learn so much. You learn so much, because that truly is the best teacher that you can have. Is have the courage to watch and learn yourself. It's pretty hard even for Thầy. It's really painful to watch, because we sound different and we look different and all of that stuff. But that's how we project ourselves to the world. And trust me, if you work with a mirror, you'll be really good at eye contact with all of these facial expression and everything. And that's a really easy way to practice, but simple advice, but really hard to do. Good job. All right, Benny.
I would like to say that I feel like I haven't practiced enough, and I do notice by rewatching a lot of my videos, and that one, I still stutter a lot. Two, I still tend to look upward. Three, my eye movement is very looking everywhere in the room, at the computers, at my mirror. And I'm gonna be honest, I did not record myself. And all I did was just to stand in a mirror and practice by myself, because just like you say, recording yourself is so painful. And that is one thing I will try to take the courage, and at least I will absolutely try to do. But I do practice in the mirror, and I feel that I did improve a lot from just myself standing facing the mirror and practicing and giving a pre-speech before all the time before each lesson. And I, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate you, Thầy, for giving all of these valuable lessons to us, and that we will keep for the rest of our lives. Thank you so much, Thầy. Thầy, your mic is off.
Remember when you came to our celebration, 30-year anniversary celebration in our backyard, and when Phoebe introduced you and you say, Thầy, can I be your student, right? And remember the answer that Thầy said, it would take a lot to be my student, because I have a very high expectation, and you can ask Lương, right? You can ask Cô Giáo Lùng này. That's very painful for her to follow Thầy in the last 4 years. She'd probably be yelled at a lot more than having happy and enjoy moment. But that is because she have the commitment to serve BuildASchool Foundation. That's something that they saw in her very early age when she only 16, and they always see that in her. And that's why they always looking for people that very special that they can train and develop. One quick easy tip that they show you about your eye contact, right? Sometimes even for Thầy, I have to remember the eye contact. And one thing that I can show you right now, the trick is right here. You see the frame of my camera, And in the frame of camera, I have the little heart that I put right on top. So every time I look at the camera, I have to look at the heart and something, or sometimes I put the picture of wasabi or whatnot. So I always try to make the connection with that and try to remember that when I speak, I have to speak from the heart. And that's just a quick reminder when you try to overcome your eye that darkening around. But just the fact that you practice in front of the mirror, you notice 1, 2, 3 of those deficiency. You work on those. 1 week, focus on one. Next week, focus on another. Next week, focus on another. And don't go learn something and then forget, okay, this week I work on my eye contact. Therefore, I don't care about body language. Second week, I work on body language. I forgot about eye contact. It has to be built upon. And the simple exercise that, hey, let you do from day one and learn, make you guys did it again today, the push-up. That's a constant reminder. You don't train the memory muscle, you don't train your public speaking muscle, you never be good at it. And that's something that I just want you to remember that. Okay, good job. All right, Luke, anything from you, Con?
Yeah, I have no question. I just want to thank so much for you for my opportunity to support for this class. I love it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. This is a wrap. I will send my decision on the certificate after I have a chance to talk to Phoebe and watch a couple of videos. With that, everybody have a wonderful day, wonderful weekend. I know it's a long weekend in America here that we have Labor Day weekend coming up. Monday is holiday, and in Vietnam it's the 80th independence celebration. There's a lot of things going on. So there's a lot of things. Everybody stay safe. Everybody, have a healthy, wonderful weekend. And with the learners from professional public speaking here, if they don't have a chance to talk to you soon, I believe that you have whatever it takes to be successful in America, whatever you endeavor that you really want to embrace. So believe in yourself. And, if anything they can help, anything they can coach you, it will cost you a lot of money, but I'm here. And remember that all of the things that we do, we charge, don't say it's all for BuildASchool Foundation. That's in my cause and my purpose. I wake up, from the minute I wake up, from the minute I go to sleep, my purpose is just serve BuildASchool Foundation and the children. So that's something that I hope you learn from Thầy. Besides public speaking, you learn the discipline, you learn the passion, and you learn the commitment that you need to develop in either your job, your relationship, your career, or your charity. You need to have that kind of commitment to be successful. Okay. Lương, stay on the phone stay on the Zoom with Thầy to wrap up a couple action items, and then
Yes.
let you go too. Okay.
Yes, thầy.
Okay. Bye Ben. Bye Sunny.
Thank you so
Bye
much.
bye.
so much,
Thầy.
Thầy.
Have a good weekend.
Have a good weekend, Thầy.
Yeah.